Hello everyone. So in this lecture, I'm going to discuss some more types of relations. Okay, so let us begin with the remaining types of relations. So we already discussed what is reflexive, irreflexive, and what is symmetric, antisymmetric, and asymmetric relations. So next in the continuation, yes, let's say that is sixth one, that is transitive relation. Next one is transitive relation. So what is transitive relation? We can say that, let's say a relation capital R on set A is called transitive relation if X is related to Y and Y is related to Z, then yes, X must be related with Z. That is the definition of transitive relation. That means what we can say that, let's say X is related to Y, and if Y is related to Z, then means implication X must be related with Z. I hope this one is clear to everyone. Okay, so next one, moving forward, we can say that, let's say consider one example here. Let's say one set A is given, that is 1 2 3, and one relation is also given, that is 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, and 1 comma 3. Now you only tell me whether this particular relation is transitive relation or not on relation A, on set A. So here we can see, yes, 1 is related with 1, and again, yes, let's say this is X, this is Y, and Y is related to Z, then X must be related with Z. Yes, 1 comma 2, yes, 1 comma 2 is present inside this particular relation. Similarly, 1 to 2 is related and 2 to 3 is related. So 1 to 3 must be related. Yes, 1 to 3 is there, isn't it? Okay. So in this manner, you can check. Yes, we can say that if inside the relation X is related to Y and Y is related to Z, then guaranteed we can say that X is related to Z. Yes, you can check in this particular relation. Yes or no? So we can say that this particular relation is transitive relation. This particular relation is transitive relation. So remember one more thing, no need to check with any self loop. Let us consider one self loop is there 2 comma 2 and here 2 comma 3. So let's say this is X, this is Y, this is Y, then Z, then XZ will be what? That is 2 comma 3 only, and that will be the this particular relation that is already present. So there is no need to check with the self loops, isn't it? Other than self loops, you can take the pair of ordered pairs. We can say that, let's say 1 2 2 3, then 1 comma 3 must be present. If there is 2 3 3 2, then yes, let's say if it is present, let's say 2 3 and 3 1, then we can say that because of transitivity, yes, 1 2 comma 1 must also be present. Yes or no? Isn't it? Okay, I hope this one is clear to everyone. So yes, moving to the next one, let us consider one example based on the transitive relation. Let's say one relation is defined as, let's say, all such ordered pairs in which sum of x plus y is even, and this relation is given on positive integer set to positive integer set, z plus to z plus. So that is on z plus cross z plus. The meaning of this one is what? X belongs to the set of positive integers. Similarly, Y belongs to the set of positive integers. Now tell me whether this is transitive relation or not. Whether this one is transitive relation or not. So what we will do? Yes, you only tell me, you only know. Yes, even plus even, the sum is always even. And we can say that odd plus odd is also, yes, even. isn't it? Now you only tell me, yes, x comma y is related only when the sum is even. So there are two possibilities. We can say that if both x and y are the even numbers, or both are odds, then only we can say that such ordered pairs will be inside this relation. Now you only tell me, let's say if 2 comma 4 and 4 comma 6 these are present, then guaranteed we can say that because of transitivity 2 comma 6 must also be present. Yes, and that will be present because if this one is even, this one is even, yes, all are even, then first and last x and z, that will be also even, isn't it? Okay, so because of, we can say that yes, that one we can say that yes, that will be transitive. So let us take, let's say both are odd, then also we can say that if both are odd, then we can say that 3 is related with 5, 5 is related with 7, then 3 must be related with 7, yes, and that is allowed inside this particular relation, that must be present. Why? Because sum of 3 comma 7 is even and 2 comma 6 is also even, isn't it? So we can say that this particular relation will be the transitive relation. Now you only tell me, yes, you only tell me, yes, in generalized way, let's say one set is given to you, let's say 1 2 3, and one relation, let's say that is empty relation on A, that is transitive or not? Yes, this is transitive. Why? Because we can say that here, yes, the definition says that if x is related to y and y is related to z, then x must be related to z. But here no x, y, and y, z is present. That's why we can say that yes, of course, yes, an empty relation is always transitive. An empty relation, an empty relation is always, we can say that, transitive, isn't it? Similarly, you only tell me, let us consider one transitive relation, let's say one relation, let's say that is 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 3, then 1 comma 3. Yes, we can say that this one is transitive relation or not? Yes, of course we can say that this one is transitive relation, because one is related to 2 and 2 is related to 3, then one must be related with 3. Yes, that is present inside the relation. Now you only tell me, if we take the inverse relation, then it becomes what? 2 comma 1, and this becomes 3 comma 2, and this becomes 3 comma 1. Now you only tell me, this one is transitive or not? Yes, this one is also transitive. Why? Because here you can see 3 is related with 2 and 2 is related with 1, that is x. This is y, this is y, this is z. Then x, z must be present, that is 3 comma 1. Yes, that is present, isn't it? So we can say that if R is transitive, then R inverse will also be transitive, and in the reverse manner also we can say that if R inverse is transitive, then R will also be transitive. So you can make the note of this particular point, that is second point, that is we can say that R is transitive, R is transitive if and only if R inverse is transitive, R inverse is transitive, isn't it? Okay, I hope this one is clear to everyone. In the continuation, next one we can say that that is seventh one, equivalence relation. Equivalence relation. So we can say that a relation capital R on a non-empty set. Every relation is on only non-empty set. Capital A is called equivalence a relation if it is what? If it is reflexive, comma symmetric and transitive together, isn't it? Then we can say that that particular relation is equivalence relation. That means any relation that is reflexive, symmetric and transitive together, then we can say that that particular relation is known as equivalence relation. So let us consider one example. Let's say one relation on set A is given to you. Set A, let's say 1 2 3. So let's say this is 1 1, then 2 2, then 3 3, and let's say 1 2 and 2 1. Now you only tell me whether this is reflexive or not. Yes, we can say that all self loops are there, so we can say that this one is reflexive. Whether it is symmetric or not, yes, in the symmetric all self loops are allowed. Also 1 2 is present, then 2 comma 1 must be present for symmetric relation, so we can say that yes, that is symmetric. And for transitivity, I already told you no need to check for self loops because there won't be any problem because of self loops. I already explained this one. Now you only tell me, yes, if one x comma y is present and y comma z is present, then x comma z must be present. X comma z will be what? 1 comma 1. Yes, that is already present. So we can say that that is transitive also. So we can say that this relation is what? Equivalence relation. Equivalence relation, isn't it? Now you only tell me, can we say that an empty relation is equivalence? No. Why? Because I already told you, yes, empty relation cannot be reflexive, isn't it? That's why we can say that an empty relation cannot be equivalence relation. So you can make the note of this one. So write down one note. Yes, an empty relation cannot be equivalence, cannot be equivalence relation. And the reason is what? Because empty relation cannot be reflexive, and reflexive is required for equivalence relation, isn't it? Okay, I hope this one is clear to everyone, isn't it? Yes, isn't it? I hope this one is clear to everyone or not. Okay, so we can say that an empty relation cannot be equivalence relation. Okay, next one, you only tell me. Next in the continuation, next type is what? That is partial order relation. That is eighth one. We can say that partial order relation. So in this relation, we can say that a relation capital R on non-empty set capital A is called a partial order relation if and only if R is reflexive, antisymmetric, and transitive. Let us consider one example. Let's say one relation that is A comma B such that A is subset of B on sets. This relation is on sets. That means A and B both are the, yes, sets only, or we can say that A and B are the sets only. So we can say that we can say that on sets means yes, all possible sets in the universal, and we can say that this relation is on the sets, isn't it? So we can say that if it is partial order or not. So we can check one by one. So now you only tell me. First one, for every A, any set belongs to the universal set, isn't it? We can say that yes, every set is a subset of itself or not. Yes, so we can say that there will be ordered pairs like A, B, B, and so on, isn't it? That means every set is a subset of itself. That's why all self loops will be there. So because of that, we can say that this relation is what? A reflexive relation. Similarly, second one, you only tell me second one. Yes, you only tell me whether this one is antisymmetric or not. Yes, we can say that if A is a subset of B, then we can say that B is, yes, we can say that B is a subset of A. Then this is possible only when A is equals to B, isn't it? If A is subset of B and B is subset of A, and that is possible only when A equals to B, otherwise it is not possible. So we can say that yes, if A is a subset of B and B is a subset of A, then A and B both are equal, and that is allowed in case of antisymmetric because self loops are allowed. Otherwise, if you see, if A will be the proper subset of B, then guaranteed B won't be the proper subset of or subset of A, isn't it? So Anti-symmetry is also satisfied here. Third one, you only tell me third one. Yes, let's say whether this is transitive or not. Yes, we can check. Let's say A is a subset of set B and B is a subset of C. Yes, then guaranteed we can say that A is a subset of C. So guaranteed A will be related with C. So we can say that that is transitive as well. So this is antisymmetric, transitive and reflexive. That's why we can say that this particular relation is what? Partial order relation. This one is partial order relation. I hope this one is clear to everyone. Any doubt? Okay. So these are the, we can say that types of relation. So consider one example and we'll see. Yes. Yes. Let us consider one question. Let's see. Check true or false. Check true or false. So the for the following statement, statement A is given that symmetric and means as well as. In the English statement, and means as well as asymmetric relation. If a relation is symmetric as well as asymmetric, then it is reflexive. If then means implies. Second one is what? Let's say asymmetric implies antisymmetric. C, antisymmetric implies asymmetric. And D, irreflexive implies asymmetric. And E, irreflexive as well as antisymmetric implies asymmetric, and this is inverse as well as in converse also. Asymmetric implies irreflexive as well as antisymmetric, both ways. Here you can check, this one is biconditional, and biconditional means if and only if. I already told you all these things in the mathematical logic, isn't it? Now you only tell me which one is true, which one is false, so you can check one by one. Listen me correctly. Yes, if a relation first one is symmetric as well as asymmetric, then it is reflexive. No, there is no guarantee. Let us consider, let's say on set A, consider one relation that is symmetric, let's say 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 1, but this is asymmetric or not? No, because in asymmetric, if 1 comma 2 is present, then 2 comma 1 must not be present. So these type of relation is possible, that is only phi, or we can say that empty relation. Empty relation is symmetric as well as asymmetric, but that is reflexive or not? No, because I already told you guys that empty relation cannot be reflexive, isn't it? So because of that, we can say that this statement is false. Next one, asymmetric implies antisymmetric. Yes, that is true. Because self loops, the difference between asymmetric and antisymmetric is what? Self loops are allowed in the antisymmetric but not allowed in the asymmetric. So any relation, let us consider one relation that is 1 comma 2 and 3 comma 4 or 3 comma 2. Let's say, yes, this one is asymmetric. Yes, if it is asymmetric, then it is antisymmetric. But if it is antisymmetric, then we cannot say that that will be asymmetric. So because of that, we can say that statement B is true. Now what about C? Yes, C is false. Why? Because let us consider the relation, let's say 1 comma 2, 3 comma 2 and 2 comma 2. This is antisymmetric because 12 loops are allowed in the antisymmetric, but you can see this one is not asymmetric, isn't it? So that's why we can say that statement C is false. Then next one is D, irreflexive implies asymmetric. No, irreflexive doesn't guarantee that that will be asymmetric also, because let us consider one relation, let's say that is 2 3 and 3 2. Yes, this one is irreflexive, no problem at all, no self loop is there. So this is irreflexive. Even then we can say that that is not asymmetric, because in asymmetric, if x comma y is present, then y comma x must not be present. That's why we can say that this statement is also false. isn't it? I hope this one is clear to everyone. Last one, that is important one. Irreflexive means there won't be any self rule, and anti-symmetric means x comma y is present, then y comma x it will not be present. Here we can say that yes, irreflexive as well as anti-symmetric means the relation will contain no self rule. Also, if there will be x comma y, then there won't be any y comma x, isn't it? That means the irreflexive as well as anti-symmetric. So that means that is asymmetric or not? Yes, that is asymmetric. So we can say that that is true. Why? Because the difference between anti-symmetric and asymmetric is only about self loops, and these self loops will be eliminated by the irreflexive because of irreflexive. So here we can say that any relation that is irreflexive as well as anti-symmetric, that means that will be guaranteed asymmetric. And conversely also we can say that if a relation is asymmetric, and that will be irreflexive as well as anti-symmetric, because inside asymmetric no self loop is allowed. That's why that will be irreflexive as well. I hope this one is clear to everyone, isn't it? So questions can be framed in the this particular manner, and in the next lecture we'll see some more questions based on the types of relations, and that is very very important. Every year you can see the questions from this particular topic, and we can say that from this particular area, isn't it? That is very very important, and some good questions will also be there. So in the next lecture we'll see some more problems, and we'll see, yes, in the next lecture how the relations are formed on ordered pairs, isn't it? So in the next lecture we'll see. I hope this one is clear to everyone. Okay, thank you so much guys.